Welcome to Just Got Real TV. We have Cheryl Cooley in the house with us tonight. What's up, Cheryl?
Hi.
Cooley in the house. That's right. We got it
Oh,
going on tonight for sure.
How
Yeah.
are you doing this evening?
all is well. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Excited to be here on your show. We've known each other for a while, so I'm glad to be here on
Yeah,
your show. Yeah.
yeah.
And we're stoked. We're stoked as well. The smile ain't no joke. We keep it real here on Just Got Real TV.
Oh
For
yeah.
sure. That's right. You know, the 80s were wonderful years. And the menopause meeting in the ladies' room. Oh, I miss you. You know,
Oh,
those songs are just they're historic. They're stellar music. They never get old. You know,
oh,
funk R&B. We play them all the time. You still hear them out there, and, and to have you like in front of us is just amazing. My heart's like
oh,
Oh, that's so
so.
sweet.
Thank you for
oh,
the
oh.
interview.
And
And
thank you.
so, for our listeners, we want to know, when did you first get started in the music industry?
Oh wow. Um, well, it's interesting because growing up, my parents would give me a toy guitar every other Christmas, so there was always a guitar near me. And as I got older, my sister, who's 16 years older than I am, she was married to a jazz musician by the name of Hubert Laws, and I was showing him this little toy guitar I have that accidentally tuned itself to a TV show, and my sister heard it and jumped up and said, "Let's get Cheryl some guitar lessons." So at that point, I was about 11 years old, started taking guitar lessons and, studied private lessons and then studied music in school. Actually was in the marching band and in high school, writing out the arrangements for songs and learned orchestration and arranging in high school and went on to college to get my degree in commercial music. So music has always kind of been around me. And I actually was the only one in my family who is into music. So I was kind of out there on my own to learn my own way.
Oh, wow, that is such a beautiful thing. And so, um, how do you do when you're like away from your family, and you're on the road and you're touring all over the place? How do you adjust?
Well, first of all, I'm married to my music, so I don't have any kids. I don't have any husband, so I could be out on the road 24/7 if I have to.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that would be half the battle.
Yeah, absolutely.
I enjoy touring on the road. I really do. I really enjoy living out of a suitcase and seeing different cities and playing at different venues. So that's kind of my I don't know, my playhouse to actually perform and tour and meet the fans and that kind of stuff. So I mean, being away from home is not an issue. I just pack up my no wait. I have a halfway already packed bag already.
One foot out, one foot in. That's right. You
Right.
know, Michelle, please enlighten us. How did the group get started? Is it just a female band? How many of you are there? And
Yeah,
how did it begin? Were you out there promoting it? Did someone come to you?
well, yeah, it's an all-female band, six pieces, guitar, bass, drums, keyboards, and vocalists. So we all have our different stories. How we met, it was almost like fate threw us together. We didn't know each other before we got into that rehearsal room. I was playing with another band in the same rehearsal hall, and they just kind of walked in and said, "Hey, you don't want to be with this band? You want to be with our band? We have an all-female band called Klymaxx." And then we put in ads in a newspaper looking for a keyboard player, and one of the vocalists, she had auditioned for Rolls Royce, and they said, your voice doesn't really match our music, but we know about this all-female band down the street. So everybody really had their own stories. It's just like fate just kind of threw us together.
Wow. And so, when you guys did finally make that connection, you know, what attracted you to the group the most?
Having fun, and it wasn't so much about, getting the gig, rehearsing, getting the gig. We were all having fun. That's really what drew me in. Playing music, having fun. When we first started, we didn't realize the kind of, we knew the idea of an all-female band was, new. At that time, a lot of people really didn't think it was gonna work. But we didn't. I don't know how to explain. We were just too much into making it work, or in a sense of having fun with it, that we just kept pushing forward. And I happened to be working at a bank, and I was telling my supervisor about this all-female band I was in, and she was like, "Well, if you give me a demo tape and a bio and a picture, I'll give it to my uncle. He's a producer for People Bryson at the time." So we, gave her what they call a promo package, and gave it to him. And he called us in for a meeting to talk about, this all-female band idea, and listened to the tape, and he did not like it. But my point is, even though one door closes, that does not mean another door won't open.
Amen.
That same person happened to be having lunch with a lady by the name of Margaret Nash, who was one of the executives at Solar Records. And he said, I got this all-female band. They're not that good. And she was like, all-female band, let me hear it. And she could hear the potential in the demo tape. And we were signed to Solar Records in a few months. It was just that fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like it, because man, when you guys came out with all of the stuff that you did, was that prior to you joining the group or after?
No, it was all part of the process. I did write the song that actually got us the record deal, called Never Underestimate the Power of a Woman. And that was our first single, and in the self-entitled album, Never Underestimate the Power of a Woman. So in that fact of, just kind of getting the group, kind of jump started into the whole business, I was very much a part of that. And, once the company gets a hold to the artist, then they, of course, put their own special, professional expertise on the brand. And what a lot of people don't realize is that, Klymaxx actually had 2 albums before the Meeting in the Ladies Room album that weren't as popular because, people weren't ready. I shouldn't say were. They couldn't conceive of what an all-female band, would look like, because the video wasn't out until the 3rd album, Meeting in the Ladies Room. So, they would hear it on the radio, and even the DJs, they'd see the album cover. They didn't necessarily see us with our instruments. But, like the first album, they would say, oh, and here's this group called, here's a group called Klymaxx. Here's a group called Klymaxx. And then they play the song. The second album, we happened to be working with these 2 new producers by the name of Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis at the time. And they wrote a song called Wild Girls. Well, then the DJs were like, oh, and here's the group Klymaxx. And then by the time we got to the 3rd album with The Men All Pause, then all of a sudden, we had video and people could visually see what all-female band looked like. It was like, oh, and here's Klymaxx.
Oh, wow.
Now, correct us if we're wrong. Now, those 3 hits, that was around 84 and 85.
Right.
Right. Correct. See, I'm good. Like I said, I love those 3 songs, and I just can't forget. Those were the years.
Yeah.
And, I personally consider you one of the funkiest female guitarists.
Oh, honey, thank you so much.
And I say that, truthfully, and I'm so excited. I wish we had more than 15 minutes. But are there other instruments that you play? There has to be.
Well, not really. Guitar is my primary instrument. Now, when we were out on the road, because the bass player sang the lead to I Miss You, I would play bass so that she could sing lead, and then the keyboard player played guitar. So we kind of switched like that.
Okay.
But I don't try to go out to a gig playing another instrument. My primary instrument is guitar.
That's what you do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, very, very nice.
And you be ripping it too, Cheryl.
Yeah.
You really be ripping it too.
You show it,
It's my passion. It's my passion. I love playing guitar.
my question for you is, because it was an all-female group, did you meet a lot of challenges out there because
Well,
you guys were a female group?
yeah, like I said, when we first started, the whole idea of all female band, people weren't quite sure, if we were serious, and or if it would work, if people would, gravitate to the idea, because it was brand new at the time. We're talking about early 80s, and people had never visually seen, what an all-female band would even perform like. So in the very beginning, we kind of had some people like, I don't know. But then there were some people that just really liked the idea and, really encouraged us and stuff. And it really, I mean, we walked into a fairy tale because we didn't do a lot of rehearsing and a lot of, like club playing before we actually signed a contract. I mean, it was very quick. By the time we got all the members that, you see on the album covers, that we actually signed a contract and, started recording immediately.
Mm.
So when you got the call that, hey, okay, we're about to sign this major contract, how was that for you?
Well, first of all, I didn't tell my family because my sister and my brother-in-law had already, how can I say, taught me the horrors of the music industry. Yeah. I didn't want to tell them, and they discouraged me, as far as, you shouldn't do that, and blah, 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 so I didn't tell them. And I was in my early 20s. So, I mean, I could legally sign the contract without telling them. So, I did know from, my sister's teachings to get an attorney to look over the contract. So we did all that. And then we met at the record company and signed the contract. And once it was signed, here I had this signed piece of paper in my hand. And I went home and told my family, I said, hey, by the way, I just signed a recording deal. and they were shocked, they were like, you did? Like, well, why didn't you tell us? And I said, I didn't want you guys to discourage me. And so, they had somebody else look over it to make sure of what I signed. And they were like, they were proud of me at that point, because really, they didn't want me to have my hopes up, about playing guitar professionally. So I won't say they were discouraging, but they would always push the plan B. I always have a backup plan. That was the backup plan was always the primary plan as far as they were concerned.
Yeah.
When you met success, as far as signing the contract, did that change you in some way? Did it feel different? Do you remember what that created inside of you as far as like being successful?
Right.
And piggyback on that, how many single awards and Grammys have the group won?
Oh, we didn't win any Grammys or anything like that. Our Meeting in the Ladies' Room album eventually went platinum, but at the time that the group was active, it had only gone gold. So I you can't see it, but I got this gold record.
Look at that! Look at that! Yes.
Yeah. But and the first part of your question. So
the contract, yeah.
The only thing I can tell you is I just knew that I knew that I knew that I knew. I didn't have any question that I was going to make it in the music industry. I was going to have a recording deal. I mean, going to college and stuff, of course, you have dreams that it's going to happen or whatever, but just something inside me just felt that it was going to happen some kind of way. So realistically, and I don't mean to make it sound egotistical, when I signed the contract, it was like, oh, finally, now everybody's caught up with my dream. I was like, I've been waiting for you guys to catch up with me. So it was almost like it was expected. But I was very, very grateful that it all came into fruition. But was I shocked? No, I was expecting it. Was I happy? Definitely I was happy, and, looking forward to it being, this magnificent, manifestation of a great music career. Did I have any idea how much of an impact an all-female band would make? Absolutely not, because we were just doing what we enjoyed doing, which was playing music. We had no idea of the kind of impact that we were making even at the time. I mean, we didn't, even now, some people say, about how, Klymaxx impacted their life, or, their idea of music and stuff. And it's still surprising to me because I'm just doing what is natural. I'm doing what I enjoy doing. And to have someone say how it, has inspired them or affected them, it's almost like breathtaking, because I'm not sure how to act. I mean, like, what do I say? Oh, okay, thank you. Like, wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, because there's some songs that have been released and they came and they went, but you could be anywhere and skating ring, swim party, whatever, and one of Klymaxx songs come on and everybody is going to start shaking a leg somewhere, you know what I mean, in the house. So, I salute Klymaxx and everything they do, you know what I mean, and that's just keeping it 100, because you guys made a huge impact on the industry and a statement,
Wow,
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, and I speak for the brown community, Black and brown Chicanos in the house. They love Klymaxx. We've always respected the group. We always get down to your beat, and that's never going to change. If you could just tell us in the future a couple of shows that you guys have coming up, maybe we can, our audience can look into that and, maybe attend those concerts that are coming up.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I invite your viewers to definitely check out our website, klymaxx.com. That's spelled KLYMAXX.com. And our calendar is on there. Our next show is actually November 16th in the Hollywood area at the Catalina Jazz Club, Catalina Bar and Grill on Sunset on Sunday, November 16th. We'll be there. It's kind of, getting back out there, because we have kind of had a bit of a pause. This year wasn't quite as active as other years for many different reasons, not just Klymaxx, a lot of artists out there. So it's a way of us being able to kind of give to our listeners and invite people that maybe have never seen Klymaxx perform, and, invite those bookers and promoters that to come out and, just check out the show. So yeah, we'll be there performing, all of the big hits and some of our, what they call B-side hits, because, a lot of the Latin community, they're really into the B-sides of the music. So we'll definitely be playing those songs there at the Catalina on Sunset.
All right. So let me ask you this. When you guys experienced, like when the COVID, virus took over and shut down the whole music industry, how did you mentally and emotionally stay strong in support of each other?
Well, we, I won't say we did a lot of Zoom, but we did, phone calls, checking in, texting. Now, the band is very much into texting before they'll pick up the phone. That's just the nature of the business. But, we definitely kept check on each other, make sure everybody was okay, or, everybody had food, or if anybody was sick. So we always, we're a pretty tight group. We keep check on each other, like, like any musical family would, just to make sure everybody's, okay, got a roof over the head, got food, got, whatever, transportation, things like that. So we do a very good job of taking care of each other. And, they're pretty known for just doing drop-bys at my house, and that's okay too.
So do you have any regrets?
Yeah, and I always tell, any new artist getting back out there, the one very important thing that I wish I had paid more attention to was, saving money and putting money aside. And, there are going to be some up times and some down times. And I really wish I had put more money aside. Of course, we would have never known what the financial atmosphere would be in the future. So, we just kind of, used our money the way we understood it at the time. But as you know, as time has gone on, there's been many different types of financial, what do I want to call them, flurries that we have experienced, and I think, if I could go back and tell my younger self, put more money aside, you just never know but even though my parents would say things, like that, put money aside, but to the extreme of the things that we have had to experience in recent times in, the financial atmosphere, even COVID. I mean, many people didn't do well financially, and some people did well, some people didn't. But I wish I could have been more, I don't know, maybe cognizant of putting more money away. Not that it was, like, roll down the car window and threw it out or anything. I mean, I do own a house, so I do have a place to stay. But, as musicians, sometimes money comes at us really fast, and we don't realize that we need to set aside some money for those times that are a little dry and they don't come as fast. So if anything, I would have probably wanted to, kind of tap myself on the shoulder about that. But as far as musically, yeah, I wish the group had probably, lasted through the 90s, because, when the 1990s came, being a live band just wasn't, popular anymore. So we were dropped by the record company at the time. I mean, at the time, there were like 17 acts that were dropped from our distributors. So it wasn't just Klymaxx. And, just to know, that music taste could change, that just was not in our consciousness at the time. And I think, something like that, having that kind of knowledge, I regret not having. But just in my life, I know I'm kind of getting off the subject a little bit, but just in my life, even though I didn't perform in the group after 1990, our last album was The Max Is Back in 1990. And after that, I actually wound up learning how to be an electrician.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, the hard hat, the tool belt, the whole work.
Look at you. My dad was an electrician too.
So I wound up doing that for, almost 10 years, a few years. But what I didn't realize that was part of the plan also, because, after I got laid off from my electrical job, then all of a sudden I get a phone call about, reuniting Klymaxx and getting back out there and, performing, Klymaxx music again. So the skills that I learned as an electrician, I ended up building a rehearsal room on my house.
Oh, wow, look at you.
Yeah. So, I mean, my life has been like that. Something may work out, something may not, but because something didn't work out, something else worked out. I mean, it's just kind of, I don't know, but that was part of it, being an electrician was part of the plan also. So, I mean, we have a rehearsal now. We have a bar, we have a disco light, we got a sound system.
Fun.
Yeah. It's painted pink.
That's so cool. I mean, that's so cool. And it's nothing wrong with, expanding your horizons, you know what I mean? So that I think that's really, I wish I would have learned some things like how to be an electrician, and especially with the field of work that I do right now, because I'm always running into electrical. So that would have been the thing I should have looked up,
So, any future projects, like maybe on a book regarding the peaks and valleys of your career? Regarding the experiences, and you mentioned, the 80s and 90s and how things have shifted. How is streaming compared to like the CDs and radio? All that has changed. How different is that now in terms of how the group gets paid and how the contracts work? And I mean, there's got to be night and day, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like, the whole industry, I don't know, makes some type of major shift every 6 months. There's always something new to learn. There's always a new process to go through. There's always a new way to release music, listen to music, perform music, places to play. So I think the times now, things change so fast that, you know, we're always learning. We're always learning anew. Because before, you know, it was kind of always the same pattern. You know, you get a record deal, you go in the studio, you go in the studio for some weeks, maybe months. You know, you press the records, you release them to the radio, you release them to the record stores. People go in and buy them. They know that you're going to be in town to do the concerts, to go to the concert, and you start the process all over again. And, you know, what we do now, you know, and it could change tomorrow. you know, people,
That's right. That's right.
A band like Klymaxx, you know, we already have a legacy as far as our music, so we can go out and tour and go to different cities and stuff like that. Sure, people ask for new music. You know, we have the merchandise also on our website, klymaxx.com, and you know, we can sell our new CDs, our new songs. You know, people are doing EPs now as opposed to a whole 8, 12, 20 song CD. So there's, you know, different avenues now to create, you know, streams of income. But, you know, I think as humans, we are going to always want to see a live performance. Mm-hmm. So that's the one thing that I definitely lean toward, is that I know somewhere, somehow, somebody is going to want to see Klymaxx live.
Right, exactly. You know, and I would be that one person, you know, too, a million times. You know.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. When you are not on tour and you are not on stage, how do you spend your time?
Well, fixing up on my house all the time, doing new things to it. That's one thing. Oh my gosh. I used to like camping. I don't know. I've kind of outgrown it now. When I say outgrown it, in the past couple of years, I haven't done it. But I used to like camping in a tent, not an RV, a tent. So I don't really do that much anymore. I've noticed I've been more of a homebody now, for no particular reason. You know, for sure, I'd, you know, go and jump on a plane and go perform somewhere. That's always fun to do. But I find things around my house to do a lot, you know, things in the yard and stuff like that. So I've kind of become a homebody, but not like in a boring way, because there's always something to do. But I will sit down and watch me some deadly women on TV.
Well, ain't nothing wrong with it, you know, enjoying yourself.
Yeah. So I enjoy getting together, you know, with the band and doing our little pop-up parties and stuff like that. And I will go to some, you know, of my friends' shows and stuff like that for support. But, you know, sometimes the crowds for me can be a little overwhelming. So I really have to watch that about myself.
Yes, for me too. So, you know, but have you guys, you know, being a female group, ever experienced like weird stalkers or anything like that?
Yes. I'll just leave it at that. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Your energy is so strong. Your smile, you're very true. I love it.
Thank you.
If you don't mind, how do you keep yourself, you know, balanced that way, to be so outgoing and happy and you know, cheerful? I mean, that's amazing.
Coffee, but anyway. You know, we're human. There's up days and there's down days. You know, I am very much into, you know, power of positive thinking, metaphysics. You know, what you think about, you bring about. So I'm very much into reading, you know, positive affirmation things, which is why I post it on my page all the time, because that's really, you know, the energy of what you think about, you bring about. I mean, that sounds so cliche, but in my life it is very real. You know, if I stay in a down, deep, depressed state, then it's going to continue to perpetuate. But, if I start bringing myself up into, reading something motivational, and realize that I don't have to stay in that low vibration thinking, then things start to brighten up. And I mean, my favorite thing to do is I love to laugh. That's my favorite thing to do, to laugh
Me
and have
too.
fun. And, can you tell?
Yeah, me too. That's me too. But every time you post when you post in fours most of the time, and so I always read them all, and then I pick one and I share it with my family.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, that, that it's shared, because that energy of being optimistic really needs to be more circulated, because there's so many things out in life that can knock us down. Sometimes all we need is that one motivational sentence to kind of make us go, oh, okay, I don't need to, think of it in doom and gloom. Let me just get through it, so I can get to the other side of happiness.
Right. So what was your best show? What I mean, the show that you was like, oh my God, this was the best show I ever had.
Well, I don't know. I've done so many, but I will tell you about one venue that was a dream come true for me, which was playing at the fabulous Forum in Inglewood. When I went to my very first concert there to see the Jacksons. I'm not sure what year, but I remember going there thinking, oh, wow, I'd love to play here one day. And, it was some years later, but I was able to, actually perform at the fabulous Forum where the Lakers used to play, but they don't play there anymore. So that for me was a big, boost, a big, wow, this dream came true kind of thing. So as far as there being one particular show, there's like, ooh, wow. I mean, there's been so many ooh, wow shows. I can't think of any one, but there's been some that have just, almost brought me to tears, because it was just so perfect. So, the audience was great. The weather was great. The venue was great. The music was great. There was no, technical difficulty. Sure, there's a lot of those times, and that's really, it's like a musical high.
Yeah, I understand. Because I know it's been times that I've been on tour, and boy, we would like fly all the way to Australia. And as soon as you get off the plane, you got to go like straight to sound check, and the room ain't ready then not till 6 o'clock in the evening, and then it's time to go back to the venue, and
wait, and don't think about eating. Don't think about eating. That's not going to happen at all.
No. And so I do understand, a lot of people, it is fun being on the road, but it's sometimes like you be like, I just can't wait to get back home in my bed. You know what I mean? Because jumping on those planes, airport, city to city, waking up in different hotels, I think I've been everywhere, and it's just like, ooh, sometimes it's overwhelming,
Yeah, and being in an all-female band, there's also another element that we're not going to say on air.
Okay.
So, Miss Cooley, do you think I think bands are resurfacing again. I think they're coming back. I think the popularity, are resurfacing. So I think that's a big deal.
Yeah, I really think so. I think that people are kind of disappointed when every act is singing to track. There's a different kind. There's a different kind of vibration that your body absorbs when it's live music as opposed to recorded music. And I think that's what we as, humans, human bodies, we want to vibrate that. We want to absorb that, feeling a real bass drum or feeling a real, keyboard, as opposed to having it compressed down into a recording, because it's basically, recording there are different frequencies, but everything is so compressed down into, smaller levels that we don't get the real feel of a live band. Not saying that the music isn't good, but it just feels different to our anatomy.
And when the artist is engaging and interacting with the crowd, there's nothing like it.
Yeah,
the communication, the sense, the energy. Oh my God, she looked at me. Or, oh wow, she touched me. Or, you know what I mean? She heard me. It's right.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even as artists, what the audience may not know, sometimes we'll make mistakes and laugh at each other, because it's like you played the song 100 million times. What made you think it was going to go in that direction and not this direction?
Yeah,
Things ain't going to change here.
no, it's not. But it's cool though when you're on stage and when you do have a hiccup, you make it look flawless.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I think that is so cool. Like sometimes even the audience wouldn't even catch it unless you just said, "Oh man," or something like that. But I've never really seen something happen on stage with a group or a solo act where I was just like,
Oh.
except
Uh-oh.
the music like just went out completely.
Stop. Yeah, sure. Technical stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
And that can happen with live music as well. I mean, I remember we did a show in, I want to call it Orangeburg, New Jersey. I could be wrong, but something about Orange something, New Jersey. And this was in the 80s. And we got on stage. I think we played like half a song and the power went out. So, we walked off stage, waited for them to, fix it up, got back on stage, tried to do the song again, and the power went out again. Well, this time, a couple of them are getting a little upset, right? So we get off, they fix it, and I don't know, maybe we got 2 or 3 songs into it, and the power went out again. Well, by this time, everybody's like, I don't even want to do the show anymore. And I just don't remember whether we finished the show or not. But, sometimes when you have those kind of technical issues, it does make, it affects the artist a lot. It really does, more so than the audience. Yeah, the audience is disappointed, but the audience is disappointed, but the artist is up there giving their energy, pouring into the music, pouring into the song, and then the power goes out. And I mean, that's just like somebody cutting off your blood. It's just, you just can't recover and just like, okay, well, that's okay. But, it's almost like you got to restart, re-kick yourself back up to that level of energy again.
Yeah, and that's really, really, really hard. I get that. And so what would you want the audience to learn about you that no one knows?
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Other than I like to laugh,
I would have never known or thought that you weren't married and had kids.
Oh,
yeah. So that was interesting. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Married to the music. Yeah.
Yes. I don't know. I'm still a little kid. I mean, I pay my bills and all that stuff that the adults have to do, but inside I'm still that little 11-year-old that's playing guitar.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
I said, that's beautiful. I mean, you still have the little girl inside you, and that's okay. I mean, who wants to grow old? You know what I mean? Nobody. So that's okay because I feel the same way. I'm still that same little girl that, used to come home and make oatmeal cookies.
Oh, did I tell you the part of that? I don't know how to cook. Oh, oops, that's something people don't know about me. Is that I don't know how to cook. Sorry, I only know how to cook a couple of things, but that
It's all good. A lot of us don't.
You didn't hear that from me, but anybody want to send me a meal package? I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
I know our time is getting short, but I do have a question. In the 80s, did you and your group, were you guys able to tour a whole year on buses, like from city to city?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, we did a lot of bus tours. Yeah.
Do you miss that, like, as opposed to now where you just get to just travel in and everything's set up and then you fly out?
Oh, very much so. Yeah, I'd love to do a bus tour again. I mean, it was a lot of fun. You got to see places that you wouldn't be able to see jumping on and off a plane. It's so much more relaxed in a sense. I mean, there's times you're tired of being on the bus, but I think the tension of, trying to get on the plane, doing the security thing, getting your bags, that's a whole nother level of stress where, once you throw your suitcase on the bus and get on the bus and get in your bunk and go down the highway, that's just a whole nother experience of being out there and performing and being on the road. So I definitely miss that. Yes.
So what would you tell a young entrepreneur trying to follow your footsteps?
Save your money. Now, other than put money aside, please put money aside. I would say, not to, don't do your art for other people. Do your art for yourself, because you never know who will appreciate your self-expression as opposed to you trying to copy somebody else.
That's right. That's right. Honestly, when you chose to become an electrician, is that because you needed to survive, or you wanted to do something different?
No, I needed to survive because, like I said, the record company had dropped us. The only other skill I had was I had worked in a bank before, and the banking system had changed. So my skill set was no longer useful. So I really had to find something else to be able to, make a paycheck. And I happened to be having some work done on my house. And the contractor said, well, why don't you be an electrician? They pay a lot of money. So that's what I did. I looked into getting into an apprenticeship program. So it was like a necessity. It wasn't, like, oh, I can't wait to be an electrician. It wasn't like that at all.
But that's beautiful. That is so amazing to hear, and for our audience to see someone so humble and someone who's obviously still at the very top and say, I don't mind doing what I need to do to overcome, to survive. Because a lot of people, maybe emotionally, psychologically, they go into distress and they feel like they're no longer who they were. And sometimes depression kicks in.
Yes.
And you say it so honestly and so awesome. And that's, I think, so honorable. And I respect you so much for that. And you're so real with that here on Just Got Real TV.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
And
very honorable.
So is there anything that you wish that you could have changed when it comes to the group Klymaxx?
I mean, honestly, I wish the group could have survived through the 90s, but I don't know what we could have done to have been prepared for that. I am grateful that, millions and millions of people do know our songs, because that shows me that even though we stopped at a time period, our music carried on the name of the band and stuff. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful to be able to go back and be a full-time musician again, because for a while I probably stopped playing guitar for probably a good 10 years. So that kind of drained me. I don't know if drained is a word, but it took something out of my soul, took something out of my beingness not to play guitar. And then once I had the opportunity to play it again, it was almost like, oh, now I remember. Oh, this is what I've been missing. But for so long, I had to almost squash it down just to survive. So I'm just grateful that I survived all of that, and I've gotten to this end where I can continue to play music. And as long as the audience and the fans show up, I'm gonna keep showing up.
That's right.
So
That's right.
I have one more question.
Sure.
What is new? What's hot? What's coming next with Klymaxx?
Well, we're going to continue to do live performances. Some of our calendar has already started to, populate in our 2026 calendar. We have a management company, Walt Reader Entertainment, that's working with us to fill up our calendar. We have great booking agents that are working with us, even out of Los Angeles with Chuck Dennis. So there's a lot of people that are industry people that are there that are really trying to help us continue to play music full time. So, I mean, I'm just looking forward to, continuing to play and tour and, and until I can't do it anymore, until somebody says, okay, Cheryl, you didn't play them 6 strings long enough.
All right. Well, we want to thank you for being a guest this evening on It Just Got Real TV with Pearl J and Chicali. And thank you. Is there anything you'd like to say to our audience on the way out?
Oh, yeah. Please remember to go to our website, Klymaxx.com. That's spelled KLYMAX.
All right.
Please sign up for our newsletter. I would have really appreciated it. And you keep on top of where we're going to be playing in your area soon. So thank you for having me on your show.
And before we let you go, I just wanted to let you know that we have thousands of listeners on our radio station. And we were on air, we were telling them about the interview. They're like, please get us her signature, her, autograph, and tell her we love her. And so I'm glad that I was able to remember and tell you just the respect and the love that people out here have for you.
Oh,
and
thank
you so much for your.
And we're gonna go out with the song "I Miss You." Oh.
Thank you.
All right. Good night.
Thank you. Oh, Miss Pearl, that was beautiful. Thank you. Engineer. She is so down to earth, Miss Pearl.